welcome to Sestra-Tainment. I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment. So, sis, you are up first. What you got today?
So I had a couple of good ones this week.
Okay.
The one that I want to talk about first is Talk to Me.
Okay. I don't know
Talk
if I know
to
that.
Me. So it's a horror movie. It's on Paramount Plus.
Oh.
It is an all Australian cast. It's maybe 2 people on the whole thing that I even knew at all. So the cast is, you have Ari McCarthy as Cole, Hamish Phillips as Tyson, Kid Earthhart Bruce as Peck, Sarah Brokenshaw as Fiona, Jaden Davis as Jaden, Sonny Johnson Duckett as Duckett. So yeah, I mean, I don't know any of these people. Like,
Okay.
it was
I've
a
never
couple
heard
people
any
that
of
I've
those
seen
names.
before. I have seen Miranda Otto. Sue, she plays the mother of one of the kids. But yeah, nobody else I really know.
Okay.
So, okay. So basically what it is, it's there is a cast, of a forearm. I'm sorry. I'm trying to not yawn. There's a cast of a forearm, and a hand that's attached to it.
Okay.
So when you go and hold it, like you're shaking the hand and you say some words, then from there you see a person that has died who's like in purgatory.
And it can be different people? Like,
Different people every time you grab the hand.
and where's this hand?
So this hand is just randomly passed around. So this one kid named Joss
Okay.
got it from another guy named Duckett.
Okay. So everybody's passing around this hand to see dead people
Yes.
in purgatory. Okay.
Yeah, it's all kids, so that's the whole thing. So the thing is about this hand is that kids are having a party. Like, there's all high school kids, so they're having a party, and part of them doing the party is, we're going to bring out the hand, and then, people can hook up to it, and you see, the dead person, and then, goes from there.
It's kind of like kids would be with Ouija boards in the past, where you would just have a Ouija board and want to play around with it, right?
Exactly, exactly. So it's basically that, but they have videos of the kids' eyes turning pitch black.
Okay.
And then them talking in a demonic voice. And things like that. But people think that it's so cool, and I don't know. I don't think it's cool. I think it's just not something that I would ever do at a young child age. But all of these other kids are thinking that's funny, it's awesome, like they're seeing all this cool stuff. Well, you can only do it for 90 seconds.
Okay.
If you go any longer than 90 seconds, then the entity will stay with you.
Oh.
Yes. So, like I said, it's a bunch of high school kids, so they don't have any thought process when it comes to what's going to end up happening later on down the road. So what happens is one kid tries it, makes out with a dog.
That's weird.
Yeah. Because it's like a whole bunch of different people who are in purgatory.
Yeah.
And I believe that what it is the people in purgatory are people who have committed suicide.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like I said, one kid makes out with a dog. I guess that person was into bestiality. I don't know. The one kid has an encounter with a loved one.
Okay.
And then one kid damn near dies.
Oh, wow. Did they hold on for longer than the 90 seconds?
So one child does, the other one does. Like, the other ones do not. But the one kid does, but I want to say it's like a few minutes over. So
it's not the one who was almost died.
No.
Oh, okay. I just thought that might have something to do with why they almost died. But, okay.
But so the main person that you're following is Mia. So Mia is the main character, and she's the one that has a lot of demons that she's already fighting before she even grabs the hand.
Yeah, she definitely shouldn't grab the hand.
So she should not grab the hand, but guess what? She grabs the hand multiple times. She takes the hand. She keeps the hand.
Oh, goodness.
It's a lot of things that happen. But this is a really good movie. So how it all starts off is basically, like I said, high school party. kids seeing this online.
Yeah.
And Mia is the one that's kind of like the awkward kid who's like, I'm awkward around people, but I'm like a cool person.
Okay.
So it's like, people don't like me because I'm awkward. So they're like, oh, you're weird. And they kind of like push her to the side. And
Oh,
don't
okay.
want to talk to her. So this is her going to the party, is her trying to be in and be cool. But this is also the anniversary of her mother's death date.
Oh.
So I'm thinking, okay, so she's like, once you figure out what exactly happens
I'm
with the
figuring
hand,
she's going to touch the hand and see her mom.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm thinking, that's what she's wanting to do.
Yeah, got it.
Is keep touching the hand until she sees her mother.
Right.
Yeah. So, but that's not what happens.
Ah.
So, and it is a weird situation of how they all do it. Like, it's weird to me how it's so many kids, but I get it's a movie. But it's weird to me how so many kids can look at this and just, like, the kids sitting around the room watching the person shake the hand, be freaked out.
But yet they're just
But
like,
yet
oh,
you're
this
like,
is so
oh,
cool.
this is funny,
Yeah.
let's record it, blah, 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 blah. What? Okay, first of all, their neck slaps back like the poltergeist.
Oh,
They're
goodness.
like that. They're like barely being able to breathe or anything. Their eyes turn pitch black. Their facial features are all dark eyes, like a dark, like they have dark circles around their eyes. Their mouth is like all pale and bluish looking and kind of dirty around their nose. So they look like they're a dead person.
Nope. Okay.
But I'm like, so you look at this and you're like, oh, this is cool. I want to
Let me do it. Yeah.
This reminds me of like crack. You want to see somebody do crack and you're like, oh, that's awesome that you just, you're slowly going down into your little drug, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me do that too. What?
What? Yeah, why would you want to do that? Plus, crack is whack.
Crack is whack. Whitney said it best. But yeah, so with that, all of that being said, it's a great movie. The way that it goes, the ending can make it be a 2. Can make it be Talk to Me 2.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be, but it's a possibility it could be, because it's kind of like Final Destination. There's
Makes sense.
It's kind of like Saw. There's 75 Saws now.
Yeah.
So it is a horror movie when it comes to that. I do like it. I liked it and I didn't like it at the same time. I liked it because I was like, yo, this is actually a pretty decent movie when it comes to how it all unfolds and works out the whole storyline. But as far as the believability of, like, some of these kids, like most of these kids are like, oh, this is awesome, let's keep doing it. Up to the kids being like, nah, bro.
Yeah, this is not for me.
Yeah. But that's basically what it makes me think of. It just makes me think of, like, somebody on meth or something and somebody being like, oh, really? That's what it does? Let me try it. Why would you do that? I don't understand that. But
I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't either. So, but yeah, that's what I had. Talk to Me. Like I said, it's an Australian cast, but it is a good storyline.
And everybody talks like they're from Aussie?
Yes and no. Like, they all have different accents.
Down by the Bobby?
Yeah, I've seen some people that I've seen on other TV shows before.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's good. So check it out.
I do like a good, me and British shows, but also a good Australian show
Well,
like
it's a
Wentworth.
horror movie. It's a horror movie. Oh, one of the girls from Wentworth is on here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I might be sold right there.
But I mean, I think that it's good, great storyline. But I feel like it's a bunch of idiots in it. But I mean, like, I feel like
It's
that's
like
what all
not believable
horror
because-
movies.
Yeah, that's true. You kind of have to have that element of somebody doing something stupid, because otherwise, how does the movie?
Yeah, because there's a couple of times where I was like, well, if I was in that girl's shoes, that other person would have already been, like, beat down, stomped.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I said no and you said yes.
Gotcha.
And no means no.
No means no. Yeah.
So yeah, check it out. It's Talk to Me. It is on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks.
what do you have, sis?
I'm going to do a hot topic, I guess.
Hot topic.
Yeah, it's only one, and I think it's one that you probably brought to my attention, but I ended up going down a rabbit hole with it.
Oh.
But it is the Wells Fargo employee that was found dead at her cubicle. 4 days.
Yeah, at first it said 3 days.
3 days, but it was 4.
It was 4.
It was 4 days.
Wells Fargo tried to cover it up.
After she died. I think they were trying to cover it up and say, like, okay, here's the story. So a lady clocks in at 7 a.m. in the morning. Her name is Denise Prudhomme. 60 years old, clocks in 7 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. She's working. She passes away at her desk at her office in Tempe, Arizona. And then on Tuesday, they find her because people are smelling something and they think that it's the sewage, like a backup or something like that, not realizing that their coworker is dead,
deceased, and just all bodily fluids just coming out.
Oh gosh, don't say that. Ugh.
But that's
I don't want to think about it, but and it's a lot. It's a lot. So
I have questions. And
I have a ton of questions. I have no answers. Okay. Nobody has any answers. Wells Fargo needs to answer. I think they were trying to make it seem like it was 3 days because they were like, well, we don't know when she died Friday. So if you think Friday at 5 till Saturday at 5, Saturday at 5 till Sunday at 5, Sunday at 5 till Monday at 5, then Tuesday morning at 7, we found her. Like, there you go. It's not really horrible. 3, 4 full days. But yeah, to know that people, like, okay, weekend, I get it.
Yeah.
People aren't there. People might not see. They said that the area in which she sit is not heavily populated. So therefore, it's not like a lot of people were sitting around the section of where she is. Now, it is, I believe, a culture in which they do some days working from home and some days working from the office. So I would think Fridays might not be a huge busy day of people needing to come into the office. Monday, on the other hand, I would think people would be in the office on Monday. So how people could walk around, potentially pass by her desk or go to different areas. Where was the cleaning crew? Was there anybody who was even remotely trying to change out a trash can, to vacuum, dust, anything for those amount of days? Now, mind you, I know some office spaces don't hire some office spaces might only hire people for 1 day a week or every other day or something like that, potentially. But 4 days, knowing the weekend is even in there, they should have been there Friday or Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
One of those 2 days. Yeah. And so, who wants trash just sitting around through a whole weekend anyway?
Yeah, because how do you know I didn't eat lunch at my desk?
Right, exactly. So
I have that wrapper from my muffin this morning that's still sitting there. Now I got ants everywhere.
Right, exactly. Banana peel, whatever.
My tea bag.
Right,
all this stuff.
Something. So now, some office cultures do have more of a physical get up and move around culture. So, for example, my office, no trash cans at each individual desk. It drives me crazy. But they have we want you to get up and move around and be more physical and active because sitting is stationary. So we have desks that you can raise and stand up while you work. Or and when you have to go throw something away, you walk all the way to the kitchen area, which for some people on the floor is the whole other side of the building. For other people on the floor, it can be like, it's 15 steps away, something like that. They do have some trash receptacles in a central area. So if it's an office space like that where, you don't even have somebody who's coming in to maybe take out your personal trash, maybe that makes a little bit more sense because, she would have taken her trash to this receptacle over here, or she would have walked to the break room or something like that. So I don't know their setup. What I saw of a video of it inside of, I'm assuming it was that office because they were showing news cameras and people just outside and talking to people and things like that. It seemed like it was just a regular, old school cubicle kind of area.
So somebody could have saw her head down.
Potentially, it looked like it may be slightly higher walls where if you're sitting up, maybe somebody's just seeing like the top of your head. But if your head is down, then maybe somebody wouldn't think that anybody was there because you can't see the full, area of the person's
Was this
space.
lady married? Did she have children? Like what?
I don't think anybody has come up with anything regarding that I have seen, but I'll continue to research.
Like, did your husband not realize that she came home for 3 days?
That's what I was wondering as well. Like,
because you got Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Because I'm counting the nights, not the days that her body was there. Right,
exactly. So, like, who was looking out for her? Like somebody said in the comments of something that I was looking into. Who was her work friend? Did she not have a work friend who was like, hey, girl, when are we going to get together for lunch? Are you here today?
Exactly.
What's going on? Let's get together. I'm walking by your desk. Like any of that kind of stuff. Like, how does nobody notice that? And so They said that I'm looking to see, but no, it doesn't look like anybody is saying. Everybody's just
Nobody's
talking about
claimed her.
expressing their condolences to her family, but nobody is saying as to if she had a family, who her family was, anything like that. So I'm sure they had to reach out to somebody, whoever her next of kin or something like that,
Did they say
person
how
is.
she died?
They did not. They were saying that there's going to be a full autopsy, but those results can take some time. So nobody
weeks.
has specifically spoken to what that time frame is. But I can't imagine like just the smell of death in an office space and what that's going to be like to get out, the
I hope they didn't have glass
traumatizing
windows.
that people, people could be traumatized by that. And then what do you do with that space? Like, I mean, I feel like it's just a whole fumigation, a whole like.
Yeah, you got to call ServPro so they can go ahead.
Yeah, you got to clean out and up everything. And so, and it just makes you also realize all that you give to a company. And then
no craps about you.
They don't even recognize that you died there. Like your boss didn't even come through. Like were there deliverables that she was supposed to do? Like I don't know exactly even what her work was, but like did you have something you were supposed to turn in?
Yeah, why didn't Brenda answer these emails?
Right, exactly. You not even answering them, but I thought I saw you here earlier today or something to that effect. All of that. It just sounds like is a bit much. But she clocked in on August the 16th. They found her on the 20th. There's no signs of foul play. They did say that the authorities investigating it have said that. So I don't think that they're looking for anything there. They did say that they have sent the employees home to work until further notice. Okay. So the employees, I guess, that were reporting in are not doing that. And that's kind of it of what they said. But they said they have no clue whether or not there's a situation of her just like, how did nobody notice? So they said, is it a situation of loneliness or isolation? Was she just a quiet, introverted person that just didn't really interact or engage? They didn't even talk about how long she had worked there. So was she somebody new? And therefore she just hadn't made any friends yet, any of that. They said that, but not friends, coworkers. Nobody reported her for 4 days. So the police were not aware of her being missing for 4 days. And so that would lead you to believe that there's not any family members who, either lived with her or were around her who could have, requested for her to have some type of, check-in or service call to even her home or something like that. So I just wanted to bring that up. Number one, I would say that it's like I said, it's just sad to know that a company wouldn't recognize that that had happened. It can happen. For example, I know even with a job that I've worked on in the past, somebody did pass away at work. And it was a situation where it just happened to be that person was working later. And it just happened to be that somebody else was in the office and saw them slumped over and was like, are you okay? And like they checked in on them and called the ambulance and all of that. And it was just too late and the person had passed. But it was one of those situations where it was late and like after 5 and, somebody, recognized it before they left. But that's why, if nothing else, just check on your coworkers. Just make sure everybody's okay. Maybe it's doing a sweep, like as you're getting ready to walk out, like, just don't walk by, but like literally look. Not saying you have to walk the whole floor, but like just look and just make sure everybody's okay.
When you're leaving, just be like, hey guys, I'm out.
Yeah. But also it's kind of like, because I think of some scenarios and situations where it just feels more isolated, more desolate because of the fact that half of the team is coming in and half of the team isn't. So there are times like the other end of the hallway, I have no idea what's going on down there. I have no clue who's down there or what's happening. So if it so
just
moves
with
you,
your department, just
you
check
could
your department.
just check your department. just say, hey,
is
of the
everybody
people
alive?
that and they're going to be like, no,
No,
not. It's like, whoa, was that a ghost?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it's like, just, check when you go out instead of just like, oh, I see somebody sitting down there. Let me just walk out. Just maybe say something, right? Just say, like you said, like, hey, I'm heading out. Have a good night. You good? Yeah. And go from there, just to make sure that we're looking out for each other. So that's just what I had. So everybody, we just kind of.
I got another hot topic.
Oh, yeah.
There's another rabbit hole for you to go down.
Oh, gosh. Don't do this to me.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. What is it?
This one is Dessstyneee on TikTok.
Okay.
DE 3 S's.
Okay.
TYN 4 E's.
Okay.
She talks about how her fiance, she has drama with her fiance's best friend, and how they ruined the wedding. And how all this came about. So it is, let's see, how many videos? 14 videos?
Oh, gosh. So is this another Risa Tisa scenario?
That's what it seems like. So,
I feel like a lot of people are starting to do those.
So let me just give you a little bit of the
And
original.
wait, I need the spelling again because I'm going to look up this person, right?
3 S's.
DESSS.
TY.
Oh, I see it now. NE. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Y'all know what this means when I'm sitting here. I work with this sweater on and this tourniquet in my head. It's story time. Okay, so boom, let me tell y'all how my ex-fiance became my ex-fiance, a new husband, and a new dad, all in a year of his best friend, who is now his new wife,
I'm confused already.
speaking now and not forever holding her peace at my wedding. So let me tell y'all, she was invited to the wedding because he had told me, like, can she please come to the wedding? That's my best friend. And I already had reservations on letting her come to the wedding, but I was like, you know what? That's his best friend. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He told me, don't worry about her. And I'm not really worried about her, even though I have my reservations, because I really should have been popped that bitch in off because I've been really wanted my nigga, even though he was trying to convince me that she didn't want my nigga. I knew she wanted my nigga. Disclaimer, I am a firm believer that men should have women friends and women should have men friends. Platonic. And I do believe that women and men can have platonic relationships if they're grown and they're not weirdos. And that they can respect people's boundaries. It's really about respect. So anyways, back to how I had to knock a bitch head off at my wedding in my wedding dress. And still never even made it to become a wife. So let me just tell y'all this. Let me just set the scene for y'all before we go into the backstory of it, right? So basically, we at the wedding or whatever. She's invited. I didn't even really want to invite the bitch, but anyway, she came because this is his best friend. Whatever. I should have snatched his lips off his face when he asked. Oh, boom, it's a good day. Everything's good. Like, I kind of have a weird feeling, but I don't really know what the weird feeling is, but I'm just going with the day because it's my wedding day. Like, maybe it's just nerves. So, y'all, boom, 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 boom. We get to the altar. Y'all, we at the altar, and the reverend's talking, and they're like, is there anybody here who objects to this marriage, y'all? And I don't know if y'all watch a different world, but y'all remember when he was like, baby, please. That's how I felt it was. And she was like, please don't do this. Please don't do this. Don't do this. I've loved you. You know this. We just had a conversation. You told me you weren't going to go through with it. I'm about to put my hands on somebody. So now we all turn around like this. I look at my bridesmaids. They tying their hair up. Oh, yeah. We about to beat your ass. Like, bitch, you're about to get jumped. And then as I'm sitting in confusion, all I hear is my cousins go, love. Y'all know what this means when I'm sitting here. I work.
So, yes, she goes into 14 videos talking about how her fiance's best friend, they were, like, I think they were best friends from, like when they were little or something like that. Best friend decided to stand up and be like, don't do this.
Don't get married.
Don't get married.
We heard that.
At the Speak Now, Forever Hold Your Peace part.
Right.
It goes into more videos about how it was all a setup.
What was the setup?
Oh, the fiance and the girl, the best friend. We're trying to set it up to make it a whole situation at the wedding so they didn't have to get married. But it backfired. Yeah, it's so many steps in this.
Wait, you're gonna make me now have to watch it.
That's what I'm saying. You have to watch it. There was a pregnancy test scare thing. I don't know about that for sure. There was.
And she did say he became her fiance, her ex-fiance, a father, a new husband.
Yeah.
So now he's
within
married
a year,
to that girl.
Yeah.
And they set it up. Like, why wouldn't he just not get married to her? Why did he have to set it up?
It's all in there. It's all in it. You got to go through it. You got to sit down, listen to the 15 videos.
No, you got to tell me the Cliff Note version.
The Cliff Note, there's no really Cliff Note version. that is a Cliff Note version, basically.
Oh, gosh.
She wanted to be with him. He was like, nah, I'm still going to be with my fiance. Then the girl says something. She's pregnant. He pays for an abortion. I don't think she actually goes through with the abortion. Then she goes crazy. Then she starts saying, well, why don't we just go ahead, since you don't really want to be with her and you want to be with me and we have a family, why don't you just go ahead and we can do this at the wedding. So, and then that way she won't want to get married and then we can go and get married. And
he agreed.
He agreed. And then it was like, but
now he's with a crazy person.
Yes, he is.
Supposedly.
And then, but see, the thing is, there are other people who are chiming in on these videos. People that was at the wedding. So there's more into. That's what I'm saying.
So you got to look at the comments and everything.
Effect. No, people are like, what is it called when you do the side by side?
Oh, when you do the stitching and duetting and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is definitely a rabbit hole you may want to go down.
Well, that's going to be the rest of my day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. It's only going to be maybe an hour of your day.
Okay. If you say so. But all right, interesting. Yeah, that's a hot topic. Yeah, so that's terrible. Yeah.
Dessstyneee.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's another TikTok that I came across that somebody sent to me where it was a situation similar where it was a guy who was like, hey, I just went to the wedding as a guest. And as I'm at this wedding, everything popped off. And he was like, basically, I'm sitting there and I guess it was maybe the speak now or forever hold your peace time of it. And there was someone who, oh gosh, how did it go? Somebody spoke up. Now I feel like I want to play that one because it was short, but it was just basically like the person who it was the speak now or forever hold your peace. I don't even want to mess it up now because it's like potentially really good. And I mean, it was an interesting scenario because of the fact that what you expected to have happen didn't necessarily happen. Okay. Yeah, because it was like, oh no, that person who they did, it was like Blake is the one who, is going up and, making a thing and, oh, you're messing around with Blake and I knew that you and Blake were doing X, Y, and Z and all this kind of stuff and all that. I can't find it, but all that was happening. And then the guy goes, yes, I'm sitting there watching like, oh, who's Blake? He's looking around in the audience like, who's Blake? Who's Blake? And all of a sudden one of the groomsmen runs off and he's like, and that was Blake. Yeah, right. And it was like, oh my God. So then he runs off after the groomsmen. Mm-hmm. So then the whole wedding didn't happen because he's running off after the groomsmen, left the bride just standing there. And yeah, it was just a mess. And he was just like, and I just came as a guest. Like, I don't even know these people, but this is drama. So it's a lot going on with these weddings. Absolutely. Why take all the time and energy to plan a wedding? All of the money, all of the resources, all of these people possibly flying in from all over the United States and beyond to just be a fool. Like, and just...
I don't know.
Doing the most.
I don't know.
Doing the
People think
most.
That they live in a reality TV show, but it's your reality. Yeah. This is not the Truman Show.
It's a mess. Okay.
Another hot topic is, sadly to say, that a 14-year-old in Georgia, Colt Gray, shot up a school in Appalachian High School in Barrow County. I think he said killing 4 and wounding 9, which is very sad. We definitely, want to think about those people.
2 students, 2 teachers. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. And they said that the kid had previously made threats against the school a year before, and they had pulled aside the son and the father, and they felt like it wasn't enough evidence to do anything. So therefore no additional action or anything took took place. But yeah, and the students in the school had said that they were in the classroom with him. He got up, he left.
Yeah. One girl was like, he didn't get a pass, so I thought he was just skipping school.
Mm-hmm. And then he came back and tried to get into the room, but they noticed that he had a gun, so they locked, like the door, they said that the door automatically locks when you leave out once school starts, so that way, and maybe this is newer schools that they just have done this, which is good but sad, you know what I mean? And so therefore you have to have somebody let you in if you're late for class, because, you know, the doors lock once they're closed. And so somebody went to go open the door for him, realized he had a gun, and then left it locked. And then they started barricading and putting things up against it. And they said he just went to the next room and started shooting in there. And I'm just like, that is just so sad. And of course, a parent's worst nightmare. And and they said that he didn't give up any, you know, give any fight or anything. As soon as the police approached him, he surrendered. And so I haven't seen any photos or information or anything.
Not about him because he's a minor.
Student,
but they have showed the children and the teachers who have passed away.
Yeah, but they say that they're going to treat him and try him as an adult. Yes. So therefore, I didn't know if because of that, are they going to do some type of
probably during the trial?
Are they going to show?
They'll show him during the trial. It's probably going to be on TV. Like they always have it, like stuff like that. But yeah, it's very sad. You know, definitely thinking about those people who lost their loved ones.
And school just started.
Absolutely.
And then locally, they actually had a threat against the school today. Well, the next day, and therefore, it's like seriously, like. So the school just closed down completely.
Something about was supposed to be a certain amount of schools in Georgia that were supposed to be having school shootings. That this was something that they had heard.
Oh yeah, because they said even in Atlanta, even though the school is like an hour away or something like that, that they still were taking precautions that far away.
That's because
so it's probably because it was other things that were being said. Yeah, so. It's just like, what is wrong with the youth today that they feel that this is a way to express?
But you know what? It's probably the other youth that's bothering them and picking on them.
It could be bullying and cyber and all of that kind of stuff too, which, you know, it's just like, can't everybody just treat everybody with kindness and respect?
And everybody go to therapy.
Yes, that.
All right, so that's all I have for the hot topic. Sorry, the sad one was the end, but you know what? It is the reality of the United States, so it is what it is.
Okay.
All right, so let me go into my next one.
Okay.
So it was a couple of shows that I've been watching, and one of them really stuck out to me. This is actually a movie. Yes. This one is called Jackpot. It is on Amazon.
Oh, I saw the preview for that. They're showing that a lot.
Yeah, they are. They're really trying to make it like blow up or whatever. I feel like I have to sneeze, so excuse me.
And bless you.
Thank you. So Jackpot has John Cena, Aquafina. You have Simu Liu, who plays. He is the new superhero on Marvel who plays Shang-Chi.
Okay, I don't know.
You got Sean William Scott in there for the first 5 minutes, maybe 2, maybe 1. And there's some other people that like we've seen before, but we really don't know them. Another main person would be probably Becky Ann Baker, who plays Sweet Irene. So sweet old lady.
Sweet Irene.
Okay, sorry. And then we have Murray Hill, who plays Johnny Grant. All right, so what it is, the whole thing of the show. So you have a childhood star, who is Aquafina.
Okay.
She's a childhood star. She had been taking care of her mother after her father left her years ago. And now that her mother has passed away, she wants to get back into acting.
Okay.
So she moves back to California, gets a roommate, like online, you know, Airbnb. Yeah. Sees the room and was like, wow, this is nothing like what the pictures show. She said, yeah, because those pictures are other places. Nobody want to stay here.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Roommate, very quirky. Reminds me of the girl from off of Arrested Development. Not Arrested Development. Parks and Recreations. You know, the brother and the sister. Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Yeah. So it reminds me of her, of how she acts.
Okay.
So the morning comes, let me go back. So she's staying at this Airbnb. It's a crappy Airbnb, but she wants to get back into auditioning. That's where she has to stay.
Okay.
So when she's going for her audition, she wakes up in the morning and stuff is like hitting her on her face. She looks up, it's like a mold area. Ugh. Stuff's hitting her on her face. She's like, oh, what is that? It's about to go in her mouth. And like now she looks over, it's all in her audition clothes. She's like, oh, what am I going to do? So she calls her roommate. It's like, yo, what is that? She was like, oh, it's okay. It's just, some poop. She was like, yeah, I know, this crap everywhere. She was like, no, it's really crap from our neighbors upstairs. She was like, so I have your crap? She was like, no, that's Miss such and such crap. My crap goes down on Mr. such and such.
Oh,
it's
my gosh. So everybody's crap goes down to the next level?
Yes. Yeah. So now what does she have to do?
That almost went in her mouth.
Yeah. So now what does she have to do? She has to ask her roommate, hey, I need to borrow some clothes. And her roommate's like, yeah, no problem. It's going to cost you, a little bit. She's like, so I got your crap on my stuff. She's like, no, it's not my crap.
Right, it's the neighbor's crap. Yeah.
But, so she gets some clothes, goes to the audition. Audition goes through, and she reaches in her pocket to find her lines that she was going to say for the audition. And when she does, she pulls out a lottery ticket. Mm-hmm. And when she grabs the lottery ticket, her thumb scans it. She ends up winning. It takes her picture. Boom. So the lottery is different. Than now compared to then. So from then compared to now. There you go. Yeah. Because it's actually in the future.
Oh, the show is in the future.
Yeah, the show is in the future. You don't find that out until later on.
Oh, okay.
But you find it out.
But so it is her roommate's lottery ticket.
It is her roommate's lottery ticket. But the lottery is different because now this is, the lottery's changed after the Great Depression of 2026, I believe it was?
Oh, gosh. Don't forecast
so after
something.
the Great Depression of 2026.
Okay.
That's when they have new rules, new lottery. Lottery is now you have like a card thing. It takes your picture. It shows you who won the lottery, all of that. You just have one card.
Okay.
That's yours.
Oh, okay. So everybody has one card.
Yeah. But the lottery is like we just pick somebody. Boom.
So randomly they'll so every single person has a card.
Everybody who wants to play the lottery. Yes.
Oh, okay. And then this is your number.
Yes.
And if we randomly select your number, now you win.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Now these are the new rules.
Yeah.
The government and the people of California don't have any money. So what they want to do is, in order for everybody to be able to live nicely, this big lottery, what we're going to do is the winner can be killed, but whoever kills the winner
gets money.
To have all their money. No consequences. Nothing happens to you. You're all good. Yes.
How you can kill people? And then how does that help the government?
I don't know. Oh, because therefore, a lot of people who don't want to continue with this actually off themselves. And then money goes back to the government.
Oh, so if you don't want to be hunted,
if you want to be hunted, then you just.
But can you go to a different country, or do people hunt you there too?
You have to get there. Everywhere. The whole state of California. The whole state of California.
So you don't want to
has your picture that says, "Ooh,
that's the person who won," and now there's a bounty on you.
Yeah, now we have to go get you.
That's weird. And so nobody can really. There's no benefit of winning the lottery. No. So why do people go into the lottery to win?
Exactly, because they want all the money. Because if you kill the person that won the lottery, then you win the lottery, and nobody tries to kill you. You just won.
Oh,
then it goes to a whole nother lottery. They do another drawing, and then so it's the whole lottery is once we pull these numbers this week, this is the person you have to try to kill. If you kill him, you win. All right, next person. If
not, next person. Yep. Okay. And you only have to survive a week?
No, you have to survive 24 hours. There's one drawing a week.
So as long as I make it through 24 hours, then I get off of the
to be killed list.
Oh, well, that makes it not really, but maybe makes it a little better if you can figure out how to hide out, I guess, for 24 hours. And trust that people aren't still going to want to try to kill you even after the 24 hours.
Exactly. So what happens is that John Cena, he's a guy, he's like, hey, you know what? I know all this military stuff. I can help you.
Oh, so he's like a person
I will
for
help
hire.
you. Yeah, I'll help you for 10%.
Oh.
And then she's like, hold on, how do I know that you're not going to try to kill me?
Right.
He was like, well, you see me fighting people now for you. So, he literally shows up while she's,
trying to fight for her life.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because it shows you also, when you look and it shows exactly where your location is.
Oh gosh,
from your lottery ticket.
Really?
Yeah.
That was terrible.
It's
Who thought
horrible.
of this?
I don't know, but something like the Hunger Games, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so now everybody's trying to hunt and try to kill her. She has to go 24 hours, I think it's 24 hours, without getting killed. And it's nonstop. There is one company that is like, yo, we can help you. But she's like, well, John Cena's already been helping me. Well, I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah.
He's already helping me. And she's like, they're like, ha, that's funny. Yeah, he doesn't really know what he's doing. She's like, well, he's gotten me this far.
Right.
So if I'm going to get with you all to help me stay alive, what is your percentage? And they wanted like 30%.
Of course, yeah.
And then she was like, okay, so what's his percentage? And they was like, for what? What do you do? And she was like, he got me this far.
Right,
like,
exactly.
So they were like, all right, yeah, we'll give him 30% too. So it's like, all right, cool. So now they're all together. And then what happens? Everybody switches. Everybody turns. Everybody's trying to kill her now because that's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing is just everybody trying to kill Awkwafina because she won the lottery.
Right. And what about her roommate? Does her roommate even know, the person she's renting the house from, know that she's cashed in her ticket?
Because she's called her. She's like, hey, how are you? How'd your audition go? So quick, where are you? Like,
because she's trying to kill her too?
Yeah, she's like, are you at the house? Because like, I'm at the house and I don't see you. She's like, yeah, no, I'm just, I'm out at, I'm just walking around. I'm trying to figure out what's going on because I won the lottery. Yeah, I know. I saw that you won the lottery. And that is great. And then you hear something in the background. She's like, okay, I love you. You got to go bye. And then she looks at her boyfriend. She's like, she's in such and such. And then they go after her. So everybody in California is trying to kill her.
Yeah, but does the roommate realize that it's her ticket?
Her ticket.
Yeah, okay. Just checking.
Yeah, she does know. But,
so she's like, now I want to kill her because I can get my own ticket back and not even have anybody
not
hunt
even have
me.
anybody try to kill me. Yeah. Exactly.
Interesting concept.
Great, funny movie.
Okay.
Funny stuff. And I think that it could be our future. I believe that this could be the future of the world. It could be, but I don't know for sure. But I mean, the way that it's going, it's talking about like how everybody needs money, basically. And that's basically how the economy is now. Everybody needs money. Businesses.
You've always needed money to survive. I mean, since we left the barter system, then you need money.
Yeah, it's true.
So
I think it's funny. It's cute. I like the little rapport that Awkwafina and John Cena have together. Mm-hmm. It's like, they look like they actually could hang out and be best friends.
Well, okay.
So, yeah. But, yeah, check it out. It is Jackpot on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yes,
sounds
ma'am.
Good. So, I have Zeus. Not Zeus. Sorry. I was going to say Kaos, which is about Zeus. Yeah. Sorry. I was looking up the cast, and that's where I started calling it Zeus because I'm looking at Jeff Goldblum like it's Zeus. But yeah, Kaos, that is on Netflix, and it has, as I mentioned, Jeff Goldblum. And so it is a comedy about the gods of Olympia, the Greek gods. So you have Zeus, you have Hera, who is Janet McTeer. You might not know her name, but you know her face if you see her. You have the other god that you see is the son. I'm trying to remember what his name was.
Dionysus.
Well, yeah, but I'm not seeing him on the play. Oh, there he is. Nabhan Rizwan plays Dionysus. Mm-hmm. And then you have Prometheus, who is also a god, and you have Poseidon, who is a god. So you have multiple.
Poseidon, who is that character?
Poseidon is Cliff Curtis.
Yeah,
you've seen him. You might not know his name, but you've seen him. You have Hades. Mm-hmm. You've seen him, but you might not know his name. He's David Thewlis. I can't even talk. And then you have Debbie Mazar, who you don't see her very frequently anymore. Every time I see her now, I'm like, she's one of Madonna's best friends. But anyway, she's the one who talks with the list all the time with the dark hair.
Yeah, no, I love her.
She's great. And she's
Medusa.
amazing. And she's Medusa. So love that. So and it has other characters like Aurora Pernew. She plays Riddy. You have Killian Scott, who plays Orpheus. You have Layla Frazad, who plays Ariandi. Or
It's a whole bunch of
Ariane. I can't even say it. But anyway. So yeah, but it's funny because everybody's name is a name that sounds like a Greek name.
Yeah.
Like
It's
Orpheus.
They're all Greek gods.
But even the regular people.
But they're still mythological people.
Right, but I'm just saying that the regular people's names are names that are like not like, for example, the only normal name is the cat Dennis. Like everybody else's name is Orpheus, or
but see, that's why I thought the whole cast is supposed to be based off of mythology.
Yeah,
couldn't get it out.
I can't.
So that's why I was saying when I was looking it up, I was going through all
and looking up all the names,
and it's everybody who is. It's all of Zeus's kids.
Yes, because Zeus is, and that's another kind of funny part of it, where he's just like, the kids don't come by and see me anymore. You only have Dionysus.
So it's all of Zeus's kids, and then it's some other mythological names that are also in there that you would know from like ancient mythological stories or whatever. So all of the names are people from.
Right, from Greek legend.
Like Greek mythology.
So, Orpheus and Eurydice, which is where Riddy's name, I think, comes from, is Eurydice. She doesn't like to be called that. And so, so you have Persephone, you have all these different Greek gods that are, a part of this whole, this isn't I'm just talking about the real Greek gods that they talk about as opposed to who's in the cast. But Orpheus is a person who's in the cast. Yeah. He's the husband of Riddy, who is in the cast. And so anyway, getting into the actual storyline. So you have where, you have Zeus. He's on Mount Olympus. You have Prometheus, who is actually the narrator for this whole show. And it's hilarious. Yeah. So what happens is that you see somebody who looks like they're like on the cross like Jesus, who is up against this like cliff. Yeah. And you're just like, oh, okay. So he's there talking. And when Zeus needs a confidant, he yanks Prometheus from there. He snaps his fingers, he's there. And he shows up right in front of him. They talk, and then as soon as he's done, he like waves his hand like, I'm done with you. And then all of a sudden, Prometheus is back.
Prometheus is back with a buzzard eating his liver.
Buzzard is eating him as he is there, and his arms are tied, his feet are tied. He can't do anything about it. He's just in a constant purgatory of being
he's the narrator of the show.
Exactly. So well, let me go back into something. So anyway, he basically talks about how there's a way in which people can bring Zeus down, and people are working towards it. So there are 3 humans who can actually do that. And so what happens is that as you're watching the show, you start putting together like who the 3 people are that can, bring down Zeus. And so you have Riddy being one of them. So they go into her storyline, and you basically find out that she is married, again, to Orpheus. She has a cat, all of this. So she is just living her average everyday life. She goes to the grocery store. She's getting the cereal. And all of a sudden, this strange woman, comes up to her and starts talking to her. And is just like, hey, she just basically is asking her questions like, do you think I'm a bad person? I'm here. I'm trying to buy cereal. And I just don't even remember the kind that my husband wants. And she was just like, no, you're not a bad person. But then, so I guess Riddy smiles at her and she said, that's not a smile. That's a scream. And then you're like, wait, what? Like, that's weird. And then the woman just takes off running and you're like, okay, stranger danger. So anyway, then as she's checking out, you hear in the news that, hey, this is the day of Olympia. And this is when you honor the gods today. And you have a human sacrifice. And everybody puts the palm of their hand on their forehead and they say Vero. And you're just like, what does that even mean? And I watched the whole series and I still don't know what that means. But anyway, so they show on the news this woman who literally drinks a poison and does a human sacrifice, right there. And so it's just like, okay, this is what you do for the gods. And does this really happen in Greece? I know it doesn't, but I'm just saying that's kind of a little different. And so as she's walking to her car, all of a sudden that woman that she saw on the inside is out there, and the like security is like trying to arrest her because they're like, she stole cat food. And so she was like, look, I'll just give you the money for the cat food for this woman. I was just talking to her inside the store. She probably just can't afford anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. So then after she gives the money to security, they let her go. And the lady's talking to her and she's like, today is the day. And Riddy is like, what are you talking about? And she was like, today is the day that you're going to do it. And she was like, do what? And she was like, you're going to leave him. And she was like, you know, y'all, there's no more love there.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to leave him today. And Riddy is like, what are you talking about? And then she said, your love is dead. So then Riddy hears a noise. She turns, she looks, she turns back around. The lady is gone. She's mysteriously like disappeared. And she's like, what in the world? So she goes home. She lives her life. She does her normal routine. She does eventually go to visit her mom. Her mom has given her life to Hera. Mm-hmm. So Hera is Zeus's wife, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. But Hera is the keeper of tongues is the easiest way to describe it. So she literally, when Riddy's mom decided to give her life to Hera and to be her kind of protector, Hera's protector as a god, because everybody is really serious about their gods. So as she decided to do that, they cut her tongue off. Mm-hmm. And then Hera keeps the tongue, and that's what keeps all the secrets. Yeah. So that is a weird ritual. But anyway, so Riddy goes to visit her mom because she's just like, you know, I mean, it's got to be hard to be a child who your mom chooses some Greek god over their own child and being in your life.
And then she had to cut her tongue out, right?
I've already said that if you were paying attention. Yeah.
Yeah, the daughter cut her tongue out. They showed that.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so what ends up happening is that, so they end up, doing that, but let's go back to Zeus. So Zeus is on Mount Olympus and he's basically like acting like he's a conductor of an orchestra. Mm-hmm. So he's like, thunder, lightning, rain. And it's kind of comical because like, he's just like, Zeus. Yeah. Yeah. Zeus, please bring rain for our farms. Okay. You're welcome, you know, and so, you know, and he's just like literally like a conductor and he's like, woo, there's over there and doo, and then he's turning his back to it and foo, and, you know, all of this kind of stuff, just being silly Jeff Goldblum. So anyway, then all of a sudden he realizes this thing that is like an ever spinning fountain, eternal fountain. And so he said, hey, I feel like there's a glitch. Like, what's going on with this? So as he's staring at it, Hera approaches him and they say that Hera, you know, she is the queen, you know, she is Zeus's wife and sister. So therefore, Zeus married his sister, and they have all of these gods. And so the problem with him seeing this blip in this eternal waterfall is that he's like, he knows that if that waterfall ever stops, that is the end of his rule. Mm-hmm. He no longer is in reign. So therefore, he's like, I can't have that happen. And plus, Zeus was part human, part God. Mm-hmm. So therefore, it's like he is not immortal without that fountain. And he gets into this state of being very paranoid that people are trying to take him out. Yeah. So therefore, he goes down the whole scenario of things throughout the series, because it's multiple episodes. I think it's 8 that you go through with him in regards to that. So Hera, you know, she's kind of a voice of reason for him sometimes, a calmer presence, all of that. His brother is Poseidon. So you have his brother as well who's on there. He's mostly like out on his boat in the water because he's Poseidon. Yeah. Right, exactly. He's supposed to be in the water. And so, but all of them drink from this eternal fountain in order to keep them in their reign and in order for them to continue to keep their power and their immortality. So that's why Zeus was really concerned about the fact that this might not look right. Then you also have Dionysus. Thank you. Nices. There you go. And so he is the god of pleasure, madness, and frenzy. And so he is a party animal. He's like, you know, just living his best life in all the clubs. And it's like, his life is a Studio 54, you know? Yeah. However, he's bored. And he's like, I've done everything. I've seen everything. What else can I even potentially explore? So therefore, he's just going around asking random people like, do you like your job? Do you like what you do? Yeah. I work for my dad. And I just really wish that, you know, he gave me more respect and more responsibility and all of those kind of things. So he finds a project. I won't say what that project is, but he finds a project person, I guess. And he puts all his energy into helping this particular person, not realizing on the other side of that, again, we already talked about there's 3 people who can help with the downfall of Zeus, that maybe possibly one of those people could be putting some things in motion for that. You also have the fact that he is also part God and part human. So therefore, Hera does something, I won't say what, to his mom because of the fact that basically Zeus is always going around cheating on Hera with mortals that he thinks are beneath him, but regardless. And so therefore he always is with women who can have his children, and they're part God, part human. And then he, I guess, gets to decide if he's going to allow them to have that eternalness of that fountain, so to speak, for them to be true gods.
If they're going to be grateful to him as a god.
Right. But also, none of his children show up for him. None of his children come around. They don't care. Yeah, exactly. So you have Prometheus again throughout the entire series, just sharing a lot of information, giving you some insights, letting you know why he is also on board with getting Zeus out of power, because he thinks he's on an ego trip. You have Medusa, who is in there. She always has her head covered. You don't really see the snakes, maybe a little glimpse. Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, so that's really an interesting take on it as well, and figuring out
that was funny when she was like, "Are you the Medusa?" And then the snake comes out. She's like, "Why am I not stoned?" She was like, "You're dead."
Yeah, you're dead. That's why you're not stoned. So there's a whole lot that goes on this show, right? So you have people who have died.
Yes.
And I won't. I wasn't going to say anything, but I mean, but people who have died and they have a journey that they need to take to cross over, let's say.
Styx.
And so therefore you have that part of the story.
Yeah, it's still part from the Greek mythology stuff. Like you have to cross over the river Styx and give your money to Hades. So
yes. And then you have to, so when you die, you should be, you need to cross over with a coin in your mouth. So you have to have a coin. So you pay your way in, so to speak. And so it's a storyline of somebody who doesn't have a coin, and what does that do to a person? Then you have where the Fates is a group of people that you have as well. So let's say, for example, you have a person who is crossed over to the other side, and you want to go to the Fates to see if you can potentially bring that person back. So you have that scenario. You have the situation with the person or the people who are the Furies. So they are the ones who kind of, I guess when you see them show up, it reminds me of Dead Like Me, where when you see the gremlins show up, you know you're about to die. So it's like the Furies, when you see them, you just kind of know, okay, they know something about me. They know that I've done something wrong or horrible or terrible, or they're going to continue to be in front of me and show me myself to the point that maybe I would even do something to myself to just stop having them to constantly come around and deal with me. You have a bunch of tongues. That's a whole storyline itself. You have adultery. You have murder. You have Hera going around turning all of Zeus's mistresses into bees. And there's a whole storyline that goes in regards to
that's another reason why your kids won't talk to you. All their mothers are bees.
Oh my gosh. It's just like craziness. So then there's a storyline of the 3 people who are human who can all bring down Zeus, how they all mingle, and do they actually meet each other, or is it that everything that they are doing is working towards a certain end? So there's just a lot of moving parts in this show, but I personally really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny. I thought it had some really good twists not really twists and turns as much as it was like, oh, that really wasn't as it's expected. Like, even when you look at like main characters and things like that, and you think, oh, this person's going to be the main person that I follow. But then I realized, no, you are following quite a number of people on here. I don't even know if would you say from what you saw so far that there's one main character? Because I feel like there's a bunch.
I feel like Zeus is the main character.
No, I don't feel like that. No, as you go along.
Is the main character.
I don't know, because as you go
But I'm also
along,
on the 3rd episode.
yeah, you're on the 3rd episode. I would say by the time you get to 6 or 7, you'll realize that everybody is a main character.
So it's just the gods.
Yeah,
it's just everybody on Mount.
It's not even just the gods. It's the average everyday people on there too who are your main characters. So on that note, I would say that it's a lot of it's good because you get a full picture of all the folks, but also I'm hoping this isn't the end. The way that it ended, it could definitely continue. It will continue for sure. Like that's how it ended, was with a way in which it can continue. But I personally am here for it and I'm ready for it. Yeah. So there you go.
All right.
So, on that note, that is it for this week's episode. This was fast. It felt
I felt like it was fast.
For Sestra-Tainment. I guess we just talked a lot, as we often do.
Yeah, we did that.
I hope everybody has an amazing day, an amazing upcoming week, and that you all had a wonderful and safe holiday weekend as well, because we haven't talked to you since the holiday. So, take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye.